Well, I hope you're ready to improve your English because I've got some breaking news. Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay. Welcome back to the channel where I have the opportunity to help you to improve your English comprehension, vocabulary, and fluency. Today I have another English from the news lesson, and some of you have asked that I do more health related articles, and so that's what we're going to do today. So make sure you're paying attention. Today I have 7 quiz questions plus the answers at the end. So I am going to read through an article at a moderate pace, and we're going to have some fun along the way. I hope you're ready for some learning and some laughter. Let's dive into today's lesson. According to USA Today, the CDC warns of drug-resistant Salmonella infections linked to backyard poultry. Okay, so drug resistant. Okay, when something is drug resistant, it simply means that over-the-counter drugs or prescription drugs will not help with this type of infection. Okay, so this is something that just came out. It has to do with backyard poultry. Okay, so when we talk about backyard poultry, we're talking about chickens. All right, a slang term that we use, or at least some people use for chicken, is barnyard pimps. Because the chickens walk they walk with their head nodding, and so sometimes we call them barnyard pimps or yard bird or just simply chickens. Okay, let's dive into the lesson. All right. Okay, here we go. Federal health officials have warnings for Americans about, let me correct that. Federal health officials are warning Americans about a growing outbreak of Salmonella infections linked to backyard poultry, including chickens and ducks. So Salmonella, okay? Salmonella, say that with me, Salmonella. All right, it is a noun describing a thing such as an infection, all right? And it is bacteria that causes food poisoning. Salmonella can make people very sick. Salmonella. That's why my mother always said, look, Jay, wash your hands when you're dealing with raw chicken, okay? You don't want to clean the chicken and then put your hands in the salad. No, you need to thoroughly wash your hands. Don't play with the chicken or clean the chicken. Cook with uncooked chicken and then rub your face. You can get sick, all right? Salmonella poisoning. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which is what we call the CDC, and it's located here in Atlanta, says dozens of people across multiple states have already been sickened. Okay, sickened. That's another tense of being sick. My neighbors have, matter of fact, they have a few type animals. They have chickens, they have sheep, they have cats, they don't have a dog, but they have a chicken coop, and I can hear the roosters crowing throughout the morning. And they also have fresh eggs, and so that's a benefit. They are Hispanics, and so they not only use the eggs, but they also eat the chickens. They've been telling me stories that some of their friends have been asking for the chickens so they can eat them. Investigators found that many infected individuals had direct contact with backyard birds or their surroundings, okay? Direct contact, meaning they have been in close proximity. They have been near, around, or in direct contact, okay? Cover your mouth when you cough. I'm in direct contact of you. I don't want to get sick. So you cover your mouth, all right? If you didn't, germs could spread. Experts say even healthy-looking animals can carry harmful bacteria, making casual contact a serious exposure risk, okay? Casual contact, okay? So casual contact means every now and then, okay? Some people use casual, not just when you're talking about contact. Sometimes we say, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm a casual drinker, okay? So a person drinks from time to time. Or sometimes you describe people that may be promiscuous, and they say, look, I have casual sex, or they have sexual relationships often from time to time. So if someone comes in contact with field animals or yard animals casually, then they increase the chance of catching this infection, okay? Now, notice, making casual contact a serious exposure risk, okay? Exposure. So when we talk about exposure, very common word, exposure, a noun, contact with something harmful, okay? He had exposure to bacteria, okay? Expose, contact. So when you think of expose, think of showing something, okay? If I were to take off my shirt, I would expose my healthy chest. Okay, expose, a camera. Look at the exposure, okay? Look, something that you can see, all right? She exposed her friend for her dishonesty. It was seen, exposed, okay? So when we talk about exposure, in one sense, it has to do with coming in contact, and in another sense, it has to do with something being seen, okay? Look at the chicken. The contamination has affected at least 34 people across 13 states, with several cases requiring hospitalization. So when a person has to be admitted to a hospital, they are hospitalized. Hospitalization, okay? Contamination, coming from the word contaminate, okay? Contamination. So when we talk about contamination, let's see here. Contamination, a noun, the presence of harmful substances. So for instance, you might say, the food had bacterial contamination, all right? There was something in the food that should not have been in the food, Okay, so if you take a spoon, dip it in the peanut butter, and then eat the peanut butter, then dip the spoon back into the peanut butter jar, you are contaminating the peanut butter jar with the germs from your mouth. Okay, contamination. Officials warn that the true number of infections may be higher due to underreporting and delayed diagnosis. Okay, underreporting. Okay, when someone doesn't know the true information, statistics, data, it hasn't been reported or known. It's underreported. All right. All right. Now, before we go further, let's take a quick quiz and let's look at some of the words that we have learned. And let me test your comprehension. I want you to put your answers down in the comment section, okay? Okay, so I have 3 options for you, okay? Salmonella, exposure, and transmission. All right, number 1, blank can cause serious illness in humans. All right, number 2, he had direct blank to the bacteria. And number 3, the disease spreads through blank. All right, so we have transmission, salmonella, and exposure. All right, let's continue and complete today's lesson. Health authorities emphasize that poor hygiene practices can accelerate the transmission of bacteria. So hygiene, okay? Hygiene. Hygiene is the process of cleaning or caring for yourself, all right? Personal hygiene is important. So brushing your teeth, taking a bath, wearing deodorant, brushing your hair. I don't have any hair. Okay, all of these things have to do with hygiene, cleaning and clipping your nails, okay? Hygiene, all right? Transmission. So when we talk about transmission, transmission has to do with the spread of disease. So you might use this noun in a sentence by saying the virus spreads through transmission. Okay, so you might say, look, if you don't keep your pets clean, you can transmit fleas and ticks. Okay, watch who you kiss. You don't want to transmit infections like mono. Okay, HIV is transmitted by blood transfusion. All right, transmit, the spread of disease. Touching animals and then handling food without washing hands can easily spread germs. Now imagine someone that kisses their animals or allows their animals to kiss them. You can transmit disease that way. Okay? Some cases have raised concern because certain infections may show resistance to commonly used antibiotics, making treatment more complicated. In other words, your body has built up an immune system to fight against certain antibiotics, okay? So the infections are strong, all right? So taking Benadryl or some other type of antibiotic may not help. And so you'll just have to let, as we say, the sickness take its course, all right? You may have to allow the body to heal itself, all right? Resistance. So when we talk about the body having resistance, it's the ability to fight against something. Now, you can use resistance when you're talking about standing up against opposition, okay? Not going along with something that you do not agree with. That's resistance. You're resisting what someone is trying to do to you. If you're trying to put your hand on my head, I can resist you, but stop, quit it, stop, resistance. When we're talking about health and wellness, it's resistance is when your body is able to fight against something, all right? The bacteria showed resistance to drugs, all right? I drink green tea to build up strong immune system, so my immune system can resist different infections, all right? Let's continue. Officials are continuing their surveillance efforts to track the outbreak and prevent further spread, okay? Officials are continuing their surveillance, all right? They're monitoring, they're watching, their observation. Just like a camera surveils the property, doctors and other officials can surveil or watch what is going on, closely monitoring. So you might say doctors increased surveillance of cases. They are urging poultry owners to follow strict sanitation practices to reduce risk. Sanitation has to do with cleanliness, okay? Cleanliness. The CDC stressed the increased awareness and preventative measures are essential to mitigate the outbreak and protect protect public health. So what this sentence is saying, when it comes to increased awareness, letting people know about the outbreak of Salmonella, being preventative, trying to stop something from happening, preventative, all right? To mitigate. When we mitigate something, we reduce the severity of something. We're trying to stop something from happening, mitigate, okay? We're trying to keep something from getting worse. So you might say they worked to mitigate the damage, all right, to reduce the damage, all right? So what we're going to do is to strengthen your confidence and your comprehension. I'm going to read through the article at a faster pace without stopping now that I have explained over 12 vocabulary words and the context of today's lesson, okay? Let's dive back into today's lesson. Federal health officials are warning Americans about a growing outbreak of Salmonella infections linked to backyard poultry, including chickens and ducks. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says dozens of people across multiple states have already been sickened. Investigators found that many infected individuals had direct contact with backyard birds or their surroundings. Experts say that even healthy-looking animals can carry harmful bacteria, making casual contact a serious exposure risk. The contamination has affected at least 34 people across 13 states, with several cases requiring hospitalization. Officials warn that the true number of infections may be higher due to underreporting and delayed diagnosis. Health authorities emphasize that poor hygiene practices can accelerate the transmission of bacteria. Touching animals and then handling food without washing hands can easily spread germs. Make sure you use soap. Some cases have raised concern because certain infections may show resistance to commonly used antibiotics, making treatment more complicated. Officials are continuing their surveillance efforts to track the outbreak and prevent further spread. They are urging poultry owners to follow strict sanitation practices to reduce risk. The CDC stressed that increased awareness and preventative measures are essential to mitigate the outbreak and protect public health. All righty then. Wash your hands if you have dealings with animals. That's basically what we have learned today. Okay, let's look at our last quiz. It will be 4 questions: mitigate, contamination, outbreak, and resist. Number 1, the bacteria showed blank to treatment. That's a good one. Officials increased surveillance of the blank. Number 3, they worked to blank the spread of disease. And finally, the water showed signs of blank. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am going to show you the answers so you can check your work in just a moment, but I want you to make sure to continue to be diligent in your studies. Take 2 words from today's list. Make sure you use them in a sentence within the next week. Watch today's lesson again twice, once with the subtitles on and once with the subtitles off. This will continue to build your confidence and comprehension, okay? And as always, if you have enjoyed my lesson, please share it. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and help me get 100 likes on today's lesson. All right, that will help me to reach more people that want to improve their English. All right. Okay, here are today's answers. If you haven't done your work yet, don't cheat. All right, here we go. I'm going to flash them on the screen. All righty then. Make sure you pause and check your work. Let's see if you can get these right. And don't just learn to know, apply what you learn, okay? I really have enjoyed my time with you today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you get some rest so you can join me on my next English lesson. I'll see you then.